Do you agree that the Raptors should be favored to win the whole series?
I believe they should be slight favored. Skip, I don't know if you noticed it, but did you see what that bandage was on Kevin Durant? It sure wasn't hop around his calf. Now, I didn't know the calf run way down close by your Achilles, but that's neither here nor there.
I did not notice that.
But if you get a chance to look
so
back
your suggestion is that...
I'm just saying it didn't look like a calf injury to me.
Aha.
I wish they stopped lying because he's been close since Portland. And we're a month later, and Kevin Durant... Because wasn't he supposed to go through a simulated practice, but then the trainer said, we didn't feel comfortable putting him through.
Okay.
I do believe they should be slight favorite. And I think when Vegas factored in, because Vegas had the Warriors as the favorite, but they were anticipating Kevin Durant was going to come back.
Yep.
Okay, now, I think Vegas even is resigned to the fact KD's not coming back. And now we got a banged up Klay. Now, how much will Klay play and how effective will he be? Skip, I believe had Klay played Wednesday, they would have won that game, given what the exploits. Now, maybe Steph doesn't need to do what he did, but I think he's the one guy that could have came along with Steph and possibly gave you high 20s, maybe even 30, to go with Steph Curry's numbers. He didn't get that, and so we know what happened. But I do believe they should be the slight favorite. The Raptors are a very formidable team. They're very, very balanced. I don't anticipate all 5 starters scoring at least 17. But, Skip, this is the first time. This is uncharted territory for the Warriors. The Warriors says, we've been here before. Yeah, you were down 2-1. But the team that had the 2-1 lead, they had the injuries that you have now. Now you're down 2-1, and you have the injuries. It's a different ball game because Cleveland had you 2-1, no Kyrie, no Kevin Love. Now you're down 2-1 with no KD and a possibly gimpy Klay. So the tables have turned. I agree with Vegas that they should be a slight favorite. This still is a dangerous team. If Klay can come back and be somewhat resembles the Klay Thompson that he was on Sunday, we got ourselves a series. We're going back to Toronto 2-2.
So it sounds like my friend Shannon Sharpe across the table has flipped his pick over to the Raptors because he says they should be favored, so now you're picking the Raptors to win the series.
I said they should be slight favorite, like
okay.
Vegas.
Are you slightly picking the Raptors to win this series?
Well, not in this segment, but maybe down the road.
Down the road?
Maybe
I can't get it out of you right now?
maybe in the D block.
You're reserving the right to flop in the D block?
Possibly.
Okay.
I mean, some news might come through just like Kevin Durant wasn't going to practice.
Oh.
So, we might get some breaking news.
I cannot keep up with your bandwagon jumping. And the bandwagon has now rolled for the Raptors because everybody aboard the bandwagon is all a prisoner of the moment of Game 3 the other night. Wow, did you see those Raptors? Did you see Kyle Lowry? Did you see Siakam? Did you see Gasol?
Yeah.
Did you see?
Third.
Did you see?
Van
Did
Fleet.
you see? Did you see
Yep.
the Raptors? I still got the Warriors in 7. I had them in 7 before this all started. I'm sticking with 7. I told you yesterday they would win tonight with or without Klay or KD. And even with Klay, hobbled, whatever he is, they're going to win tonight's Game 4. So that means they'll win 4. They will go lose 5 at Toronto. They will come back and win 6 at Golden State, and they will go win 7 because I do not trust number 2 in a Game 7 in his quote-unquote house.
Well, I tell you
that
what,
is soon not to be his house.
You know when you're going to trust him?
Vacate that
you know
house.
when he's going to start trusting him? When he's holding that Bill Russell trophy for the most valuable player in the finals.
Okay, you have me there, but that ain't happening. And I've said it's not, and I'm sticking by that. So the point is that obviously with Klay tonight, the bettors are still leaping aboard the bandwagon to the point that even after the news became pretty official that he's going to be in the starting lineup, the spread went from 5.5 yesterday down to 4.5. So people are betting pretty heavily on the Raptors tonight to win this game. And if they win this game, is that not commanding?
Yes.
Is that it? I don't know if it's over, but it's commanding.
It's over.
You think so?
Yeah.
Ooh, you might be able to get
Because,
some
I mean,
deal on
hold
that.
on. Is LeBron James going to join the Warriors for these last 3? Because that's the only man that could possibly pull off a 3-1 deficit.
Well, no, that's not true because the only other man, the real man in this series is Kevin Durant.
Well, he ain't coming back.
That 7-foot monster. So I am going to concur with you on only one point that you made. Yesterday, for the first time, really all series, all season, I said, you know what? Kevin Durant has dribbled his last dribble for the Golden State Warriors. That's it. That's all, folks, right? He should wear that T-shirt tonight, right? He's out because I'm virtually sure he's not going to be a Warrior next year. I don't know that for a fact, but all of my instincts tell me he's out, and he's definitely out for the rest of this series. And I agree with your premise. It has to be more serious than a calf strain. It has to be an Achilles something, tear, maybe not rupture, but something's wrong with his Achilles where he just can't go. And they keep flim-flamming us day after day after day only because they're playing games with the Raptors. They want the Raptors to fear that, hey, even tonight he might Willis Reed it. Right. He might just show up, that 7-foot monster might show up a tip-off tonight and walk right out to midcourt and say, let's go, right? Because now you force Nick Nurse to prep for it every time. Right. But just in case we're going to do this, we're going to do that to defend him, to defend them, right? Yeah. And I'm with you. It's over and it is done because they flim-flammed us the night before after the game because they announced, Steve Kerr announced that he was going to play 3-on-3 the next morning with some the assistant coaches and some of the G Leaguers. Correct. Right?
Yes.
And nothing happened. So some of the Kerr quotes.
See, look at that bandage, Skip.
Okay.
Look what that bandage is.
All right.
Now I don't know if you got calf that's way down there. Does that?
He's got long calves, man.
Yeah, the calves don't go that long.
They don't go that long. So now Kerr is still hanging in, saying that this 3-on-3 game, he says, I think that's something that will happen in the coming days. He says, probably tomorrow, maybe the following day, or the next couple of... Stop it, Steve. We're running out of days, right?
Yeah.
You can't keep planting that seed of doubt in Nick Nurse's mind. I'm sorry, I'm done with that. And he keeps saying there was no setback. Well, there was no setback because they never disclosed the full extent of the injury to start with.
That is correct.
Okay, so I got that. So these are all semantics. Now, back to Klay Thompson. What does this say about Klay Thompson? How valuable is Klay Thompson if, in fact, suddenly you have a chance with Klay, right? Okay, so what do I expect from Klay Thompson tonight? Will he go back to being the primary defender on number 2? No way, Jose. Not tonight, right? Because with the hamstring, and I know you referred to it a hammy, and I'm not condemning you for this, but it just irritates me when people call it hammy. Everybody calls it hammy because it sort of... It deprioritizes it. It delegitimizes just how it's the biggest muscle in the body. I don't like to call it a hammy because it's disrespectful to the hamstring muscle. Yeah. Because once it goes, it is vicious what happens. It controls your whole body. So do I think he's going to be able to shuffle side to side and strain and stretch that hamstring to play defense on number 2? I do not. But what does he bring to Steph Curry? He turns him lethal again because Steph needs a co-threat. He just does. We've seen it now in 2 straight games where you can't. Now, if with Klay, you can't prioritize that guy. Right. You can't double him. You can't try to get the ball out of his hands because if you do, the other guy will shoot you out of the gym. Right. So that's what you do. You need brothers. Plural, splash brothers. Now it's not brother.
You just have another guy running off screens on opposite sides. So where do you go? You can't, because Skip, all they had to do was just set their defense to take away Steph, and they couldn't do that. Right. Even though they didn't have another outside shooter. Yeah. How do you take Steph away now with that guy on the floor? But Skip, this is where Klay Thompson adds value. When you take him off the court, it hurts your defense because now you really only have 2 defenders out there. That's Draymond, that's Iggy. Sean Livingston is not a defender. For all how great Steph Curry is, he's not a defender. Boogie Cousins is not a defender.
Well, so they just brutalized him in the pick and roll the other night. They shamed him. Yes, DeMarcus. They just made him look ridiculous.
What? I think 6 of the last 7 games, Skip, they felt falling behind by at least double digits in the first half. Yep. That's not offense, that's defense. Yep. So Klay, not only does he bring you something on the offensive end, he also helps you on the defensive end. The Raptors shot 50, 40, 90. That's great offense, but against a team like the Warriors, who they say their DNA is defense, and you let them shoot 50% from the floor and 40% from the 3?
Yep.
Clay could help shut some of that down.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.